Hey folks, this is BestInSlot here with what seems to be some pretty bloody exciting Jurassic World Evolution 2 news. Now, I'm going to do a full breakdown video on some of this stuff tomorrow, but I'm going to go through the live stream with you right now. This is Twitch Gaming's, Xbox Gaming's showcase thingamajiggy. They're doing interviews. That's all we're going to see here. Interview, no gameplay or anything like that. But they're going to have on Rich Newbold, who you may have seen in the other interviews the other day. He's a magnificently beautiful man, and hopefully he doesn't watch this and find that very weird to say. Now, he has given some information in this brand new interview which I think is going to be very pertinent, so we're basically going to watch it, pause every now and again, react, and all that kind of jazz.
Dive into our next guest we're going to have here. Chat, tell me something. Have you ever wanted to run from a dinosaur? Well, our next guest is making that possible. We're going to sit down with Rich Newbold, the game director for Jurassic World 2. Before we meet him, though, let's check out the trailer. Okay, so we've seen the trailer before, so we'll just kind of skip over this in just a second. So, I haven't seen this yet, but I've seen mentions of what was mentioned on Twitter, if that makes sense. So this is kind of going to be a live reaction, sort of. I've heard some interesting things already. Let's skip forward a little bit and see what's going to go on here. Where are we? So we're just waiting for Rich to pop up, and then, as I say, we'll pause after every revelation and go from there. That was an amazing trailer. I got goosebumps. I don't know if you did, Adrian.
Really?
That music and just
That's why I have the hoodie on.
love it. It all just came together. I do have one correction. Before we saw the trailer, I said Jurassic World 2. It's actually Jurassic World Evolution 2, so my apologies for that mistake. But Rich, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and all of that, all the details?
Thank you very much for having me. So I'm Rich Newbold. I'm the game director on Jurassic World Evolution 2, and my job is kind of be the overarching kind of point of contact for the direction of the game, working with the development team, marketing teams here at Frontier as well to bring Jurassic World Evolution to life.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome. Yeah,
That's
this is exciting.
It is. Like, I love Frontier development games. I've been going through a bunch of them the past, 5 years, and it always drives me crazy because once I start, I have to stop myself from playing them because all I want to do is just create these vast worlds, So I have to wonder, first and foremost, between Jurassic World Evolution and Jurassic World Evolution 2, what would you say is the biggest change you're most proud of?
For me, it's the opportunity, because of the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and we're kind of set after that, is the opportunity to take dinosaurs into a new environment that you've never seen them in before. So in Jurassic World Evolution, the game was set on the 5 Deaths, which was the tropical islands that you see in Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, where the dinosaurs are kind of bioengineered from fossils brought back to life and on those islands. But because of the events of the film, we have an opportunity to bring dinosaurs to entirely new locations that you've never seen before. So in the announced trailer, you've seen that obviously we have the dinosaurs in desert and our Taiga environment as well. So it's for me, that's a great thing for us, because we have these really beautiful dinosaurs, but once you put them in a new environment, it just makes them feel so real as well, because those are environments that we kind of live in every day. Here in the UK, obviously we don't really have much of a desert, but it's a great opportunity to see dinosaurs in these new locations.
He says we don't have much of a desert. He's clearly never been to Milton Keynes.
That's amazing.
I like that a lot. It's just when you said here in the UK we really don't have, I was autofilling in my head. I thought you were going to say here in the UK we really don't have dinosaurs, and I was going to go, well, I mean,
where are the dinosaurs?
I just want to clarify, we also don't have those, just to get rid of any doubt.
I love that. General reminder to chat out there, don't forget to ask questions, because we are reading chat, and if you have anything you really want to ask about Jurassic World Evolution 2, please don't hesitate.
So many questions.
Let us know.
I had no idea this was going on.
Diving into our next question then, what are some of the new prehistoric species that have been added to the game?
So in the game we have over 75 different Prehistoric Species. So we have a lot of the kind of land dinosaurs that you've seen in the original game. We've also brought to life brand new land dinosaurs as well. We have, as you've seen in the trailer, if the eagle-eyed people at the beginning of the trailer would have spotted a new dinosaur, the Amargasaurus, which is a really beautiful dinosaur with a lot of spikes coming out of its neck. And we've also bringing to life flying reptiles and marine reptiles, as you saw at the end as well. That's one that is pretty exciting. The Mosasaur is such an iconic dinosaur in Jurassic World, and it's been really great to bring that to life as well. And it's going to have all the behaviors and detail that the land dinosaurs have as well. So it's great to have kind of that as a challenge for our players as well in the game.
Okay, so that's the first interesting point. He says, yeah, detail, sure, but the Mosasaurus is going to have all the behaviors of our land-based terrestrial dinosaurs. Now, I actually had a conversation about this very topic earlier in the day where I felt that even if the Mosasaurus and the other aquatics weren't on a loop, which I think we get to in a little bit as well, I felt like maybe they weren't going to have lots of advanced behaviours. But if we could have aquatic species and flying species with social interactions, with dominance displays and hunting and all that kind of extra stuff that we attribute to the land dinosaurs, I think that would be fantastic, really interesting actually, and would make me a lot more receptive to the idea of having lots of aquatic species and flying species in the game. In the past, I thought maybe they'll be a bit like the exhibit animals in Planet Zoo, where, you know, one in a DLC is fine, but you don't want to focus on them. But if they are complex and real creatures in this way, then it's going to change things a lot. It's going to be much more interesting.
I'm actually happy you brought dinosaurs up.
These interviews are so awkward.
Because we have a question here from, well, you'll bring it up anyway. I guess just to specify, I'm happy you brought up specifically new dinosaurs. But Big Wolf Gator said, can you elaborate any on animal behavior, like showing signs of disease that is unique to each disease, or pack hunting or herding, dynamic reactions, interspecies behaviors like sniffing or playing and resting? Great question.
Wow. That was a great question, full of incredible detail. So yeah, one of the key things I wanted to tackle with Jurassic World Evolution 2 is looking at making our dinosaurs more realistic.
Oh, Rich, you're speaking my language.
We want to build on the success we had with the first game, bringing them to life in a really authentic way, but adding a lot more depth in what they're doing in the game as you're managing them, as you're building these parks and facilities and looking after them. So we've been really working on the way the depth of how they interact with their enclosures and their environments, and how they build up their own environmental needs and kind of have their own comfort levels, and you have to make sure they're as high as possible. We've seen in the films and in the Jurassic World Evolution 1 what happens if your dinosaurs aren't happy. They're going to try and escape, and that's always a bad thing.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on making sure that the environment needs are as deep as possible. So each species will have lots of different environmental needs that you as a player have to kind of solve that puzzle of how you cater to. If you have enclosures that have different species together, how you make sure that each species is happy within those enclosures. We've been also working on their behaviors. So it's not just about what they need in their environments, but also in how they interact with all the different dinosaurs and species in the game. So that's interspecies behavior. So that's behaviors of the same species. Sorry, I tried to be. So that's same. Thank you. Nearly got away with it. The Triceratopses, for instance, will have behaviors, how they interact with each other. So we've added a lot more depth in their social behaviors, and also different species as well, how they interact. So we've worked on a more dynamic hunting and fighting system. So
okay, I'm going to let him finish talking, but that is exactly the words we were looking for.
So if a predator is tackling a prey, it's a lot more dynamic now. It happens in motion a lot more compared to the first game, and fighting between different species as well. We have been adding and looking into group attacks as well for some of the species of dinosaurs.
Oh. So. Okay, right. Group attacks. That is. He says we've been looking into. Can we take that as confirmation? I think we probably can. I think he has basically just confirmed pack hunting. Essentially, group attacks definitely suggests pack hunting. Let's just go back and think about what else he said. So the first thing was about interaction with the environment and the requirements these dinosaurs are going to have in their habitats. Now, obviously that was already a thing in the first game. You had to have certain amounts of forest, certain amounts of grassland, certain amounts of water for some creatures. I think they probably liked the water thing that they brought in later on in the game, the wetland requirement. And maybe we'll start to see a little bit more of that with some dinosaurs. Maybe dinosaurs could even have like a dirt requirement like in Planet Zoo, or like a rock requirement, you know, stuff like that. That would be interesting. Or like a ground foliage requirement, or certain types of ground foliage present somewhere. I could see that aspect of the game being a little bit more detailed, the sort of dinosaur management environmental aspect. He then goes on to say that the intraspecies, I think that's the term he's looking for, as in between the same species, the intraspecies behavior is going to be more developed, more intricate. There's going to be more behaviors, more social interactions. No more of this, hopefully, standing around in a weird ritualistic circle trying to summon the devil kind of thing, but more natural looking behaviors. And then, I don't know if it's just specific to hunting, but there was at least a suggestion of species crossover behaviors, as in maybe a Triceratops and a Pachycephalosaurus somehow have a behavior between the two. Maybe they, even if only acknowledging the presence of each other, that would be a really cool way to make our exhibits feel much more alive and realistic. And then we get to the important thing, which is he literally said the word group attacks. Now, first of all, he said our attacks are going to be more in motion. I think we know that in evolution there's this big problem wherein not the fighting, but the prey and the predator interactions, so we're talking like the raptors on the hadrosaurs, everybody on the goat, stuff like that. And what would happen would be they'd walk around and then suddenly the prey animal would lock into place, the predator would move around, lock into place, and then they'd play out the interaction. And it looked very sort of forced and gamey more than anything. That's actually the main problem. It looks like it's from a video game, and also relied largely on the prey animals to kind of sit there like an idiot. Sometimes they'd start like a little sprint at the end, but they were doomed to die. If they can make that animation and system play out a lot more smoothly, that will make hunting feel a lot more realistic. And then he says the words group attacks, which can only be taken to mean pack hunting, surely. So you apply that same system. I would be surprised if it's group attacks in the sense that all these dinosaurs go and attack this dinosaur at the same time and they all take little bites of it and it's all very dynamic. But maybe when they have these animations that are going to much more smoothly play, there's chances for other raptors in the area, for example, to be pulled into that same animation. I have no idea, but it's a very exciting idea. That is, all the things I've wanted to hear have just been said.
So, there's going to be lots for you as players to manage and deal with when you're looking after these species.
It sounds like amazing complexity with the interactions and behaviors between the different dinosaur species. I'm honestly really impressed. I do have a pressing question, which also was asked by Passpin in chat. What is your favorite dinosaur, and is it in the new game?
Oh, that's a great question, but the answer is just not going to be satisfying. My favorite dinosaur is the Brachiosaurus. So, and of course that's in the new game. It's such an iconic dinosaur. It's one of those ones that as a child you read about and you see pictures of. And for me, the Brachiosaurus is my favorite one because of kind of the interaction that you see in Jurassic Park. It's that interaction between that human connection between Alan Grant in the tree with the Brachiosaurs. It was just makes them feel so real, and that one's still my favorite. And it's just a beautiful dinosaur because that massive long neck, and it's just awe-inspiring to see in the game, but also then think about it ever existing, like this massive creature that's mostly neck, and it's like that was a thing that was on this planet before us. It's just incredible.
I've got to say, it's a bit of the sappy, nostalgic part of me, I'll admit, and the ever-eternal optimist, but hearing Rich talk about dinosaurs in that way does make me quite happy, because that is exactly how I feel when I think about the Brachiosaurus scenes in the original Jurassic Park and how they led to this lifelong obsession with dinosaurs, and the way he talks about it is how I talk about it, so it's cool to know that. I mean, it was inevitable, of course, but it's nice to know that there are people in Frontier, and people in, he's a game director for the entire game, people who have what I would consider well, it's only the right one because it matches up with mine, but the right approach to dinosaurs and the respect for their majesty and awe-inspiring nature, which I think a lot of the newer films have lost, and it's nice that we can still push that in the games, It's kind of sweet.
Nothing wrong with liking, the vanilla ice cream of dinosaurs, man. Everybody's got a flavor they like.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's okay.
I'm still vanilla ice cream. Yeah, vanilla ice cream's the best. So I'm just like level. I'm just like, just safe.
It's such a good game for that aspect, because anytime I play a game that involves same mindset as you, which is the thought of this walked the earth once upon a time. Like even remnants and relics of the ones that still kind of exist today. Like the way we have gators and crocodiles, but they had the sarcosuchus that existed at one time. We have snakes. At one point we had the titanoboas. Just these colossal versions of what we have now existing in the game, and seeing them there is incredible. And having the fact data sheets that you have in the game that detail all that stuff. So even though you have go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's a key part for us as well. Sorry to interrupt, but like we wanted them to feel real in the game because they are real. They're not. We don't want them to be kind of mythical titans or anything like that. They're real animals. They have cares. They have food, water. They're going to get disease. They're going to get injured. You have to treat them and make sure that they're as healthy, as happy as possible. And then on top of that, we have like happy dinosaurs that become they're attractions for the greatest theme park in the world. Is what we see them in the film, but for me it was always making sure they feel as real as possible as animals and real things.
Respect. I'm with you.
I love it.
Look at everyone in here naming their favorite dinosaurs in chat.
I know. I'm seeing that too. I personally love the Velociraptor, but I think I might be biased because of the movie. So
that's a fair pick.
Does that say a lot about you that you like the one that's the most scary?
I don't know. There's I don't know. It might have just been because of Blue. Just an iconic.
She's great. Yeah,
she's great.
Boo.
I think we have to wrap up soon, but I think I just want to say I think it's really cool that I feel like every 5 years or so we start learning more about dinosaurs. Even as time goes on, we have to change the way we observe them. We have to change the way that they're portrayed in movie and in media, and getting rid of mythos that exist as far as how far can a T-Rex see or how fast can they actually run, and the feather aspect and all that stuff. And it's just really cool to see your game tackle all this and stay true to the expectations of people who want facts and want fun.
I like this guy.
So thanks.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is about just an opportunity for us as people, as players, to play a game where you're going to see the most authentic, realistic dinosaurs ever brought to life in a game as well. It's kind of bridging that gap between you reading about them in books, seeing them in pages, or seeing fossils in museums, of just kind of adding life to that as well, and then just being able to get as close as possible in a game, which is a great combination of two hobbies, of not just dinosaurs and video games, but now you get to do them both at the same time.
Well, I would love to keep talking about dinosaurs because this is such an amazing, interesting, in-depth topic. But sadly, we...
Okay, well, that's the end of that. We'll just see if he's got anything else about it.
Do have to wrap this up. But Rich, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know again who you are, what you work on, if we can find you on any socials.
So I'm Rich Newbold. I'm the game director on Jurassic World Evolution 2. The game's going to be out later this year. If you'd like more information about the game, if you go to JurassicWorldEvolution2.com, or you can find us on Twitter at JW_evolution.
Sounds
Awesome.
great. Well, thank you so much, Rich. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you.
You have a nice day. Thank you.
He's so sweet. Look at him, not even buffing up his own socials there at the end. He could have chucked in, hit me up at Rich Newbold Twitter. Anyways, so what have we just had confirmation of? And we're going to take it as confirmation, because why the hell not? We've got pack hunting. We've got individual behaviours for aquatic and flying creatures, which actually doesn't suggest, it confirms that neither the aquatics nor the flyers are on loops. We've got new behaviours between a species and with other species. We've got hopefully increased environmental interactions as well. Now, preferably for me, that would go all the way to including enrichment items and stuff like that. That could be a thing. Haven't seen any suggestion of it yet, but we'll have to wait and see. It does take it more in a zoo direction rather than like a nature Jurassic Park kind of thing, though, so it's probably unlikely. But either way, incredibly exciting information. I'm probably going to do a more official breakdown of this info tomorrow, because this is all about me instantly reacting and getting excited. But yeah, incredible news. Very, very excited to see all these features come to play. Hopefully tomorrow, which is Friday, we can also get a new species profile, species field guide. Hell, that could even show some of these new behaviours in action. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for joining me. Throw me a like down below if you enjoyed this. If you're excited about these new behaviours for Evolution 2, I am hype. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.